Hey guys, welcome back to UModeler. Today we're going to take a look at a pro feature for UModeler X, focusing on the Quadify tool. This incredible feature transforms triangular faces into quadrilateral ones, enhancing your models by making them cleaner and more suitable for things like animation and subdivision. Since the Quadify tool converts triangulated faces into quads, it simplifies the process, making it even easier for you to modify your assets. This enables you to add distinctive touches that helps your projects truly stand out. Let's jump in and see how it works. All right, so the first thing we want to do is bring an object into our scene that would benefit using the Qualify tool. Now, just keep in mind, so when you bring an object into Unity, generally, what it does is, even if you're using like another 3D modeling software and you bring that object in, it's gonna go from quads to tris, because naturally, the game engine is gonna convert it into tris for computational purposes and things like that. So what we want to do is be able to convert it back to quads so that we can edit that object, right? So what we're going to do is take a look at a few examples that will help us demonstrate this. So I have a couple of objects that I downloaded from the Unity Asset Store. I have this prefab. It's going to be this drone. So let's play with this one first. Now, this drone is really cool drone. It's like a little spider drone. And what it has is some animation and some things on it. So what we want is first, I'm going to go ahead and go to the prefab. I'm going to unpack it completely. And then what I'm going to do now is look for just a mesh so that we can demonstrate this. So I'm going to take it, pull it out of here. I'm going to delete everything else. All right. So we have this mesh here. And so what I'm going to do is convert this to a UModeler object. Now, if I go into this mode, as you can see, it's already just all in tris, and that's fine, but we're going to go ahead and make this a little better for use case. So I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to go to UModeler X, and I'm just going to go to the first option here, UModelize. All right. So what we did is we converted that. So when you convert it, it's going to basically create a duplicate. And this version had the legs in a particular direction. I'm just going to delete that one. And so this is the standard look of this object, the way it would be when the user probably created it. And so there's everything there. Now that this is a UModeler object, I'm going to go to faces. And as you can see, we have this here, all tris. But this could be a little hard if I want to edit this and extrude and do things like that, because really I would have to select these two faces just to get that quad, right? And we don't want that. So, and you don't want to do this because that's not really what you're trying to accomplish. So what we're going to do now is use the Quadify tool. So what I'm going to do is go into object mode. I'm going to go down in my hierarchy of tools. And what we're going to do is go down to where it says surface. Okay. In here, you're going to see where it says Quadify. We're going to click Quadify. And below that, you're going to see where it says Tool Properties. Now, keep in mind, this tool is currently in beta, so they're subject to change. Things could be improved upon and whatnot. So for now, right now, we have the option to do selected faces, all faces. We can group by material. We can do back face selection here. So basically, just to keep it simple, if you do back face selection with that toggle off, if I was to try to select all the faces, it's going to obviously not select anything in the back. But we want everything selected in this case. So I'm going to select everything here, and I'm going to hit the Qualify tool button. So hit that, and perfect. And so now that we have all of that selected, now if we go into our face selection, now look at that. You can actually select quads here, just like you would with your normal UModeler object, and start modeling from here. Now, this is what's really great about this, because if you purchase an asset and you downloaded it just like this and you wanted to make changes to it, and he says, I like that this has this little tail thing here, but what if I wanted like a missile launcher or something off the top of his head? Well, you can do it now, and you can edit it, and you can bring something out like so, and you can continue to edit this, and say, for instance, we want to now edit this like normal. Now look at that. Now I can just come in and model this like as if it was directly modeled with UModeler from the get-go. And so now we can do all types of things with this, and it is pretty amazing, right? And so now we can kind of continue to go in here and do some really cool things. I'm adding bevels to this thing. I'm doing all types of things just like you would expect otherwise, right? And so now we have a whole new object just from the one object that we had before. And so now you have a spider with some type of gun mount on its head. Pretty cool. And now, of course, you would have to kind of re-UV some things. And of course, UModeler has built-in UV editing as well. So you have everything you need right here, right out the gate. Awesome. Let's take a look at another good example of this. So I'll go ahead and hit close on that. And let's look at something else I have. I have this drone that we can play with. This is another game object, a random game object that I downloaded from the Unity Assets store. It's really nice looking, but we want to make changes to it. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do prefab. I'm going to unpack it. And then I'm going to go right click, UModeler X, UModelize. It's going to create a duplicate of it, right? This is the original. I'm just going to go ahead and hide this one and make it to where I can't select it. And now we just have this object. Again, if I go into my faces, as you can see, it's all triangulated, just like we would expect. But we want this to be quadded. So as you can see this wing here, I want to make some adjustments maybe to this area here, but I don't want this, right? I don't want to have it do this. What I want is quads to make it a little easier. So what I'm going to do is go down into Surface, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Quadify. Awesome. And so now that I have Quadify selected, now what we want to do is select what we want to quadify. And for instance, if I want to select everything, I would just select it all, just like normal. If you want to just select just a certain area of it, you can do that as well. But in my case, I'm just going to go ahead and select everything, and I'm going to hit Quadify. And as you can see, it cleaned it up wonderfully. And now I can go in and select just the faces there, but this wing is more important to me right now. And what I want to do is make this guy look super awesome fast. So right now, if this was something I was actually working with and it says, okay, well, a lot of the power comes from this one back area here, but we want to make another area. So I would just take this and extrude it out using using my extrude here and do something like so. Bring this here and say we want to kind of like push this out further, and we can kind of go big. We can do something like this, and then we can even take it a step further and bring it inward. And you can imagine what you can do at this point, right? And so now you can start editing this, and now you have something that looks even more powerful, more strong, or faster. And now you have variations of this. So say we have the base drone, and we can make this drone, and then we add more guns or made more weapons or whatever you want. But the point is, it gives you the ability to make edits to this much easier using the Quadify tool on assets that you might have gotten purchased from the Unity Asset Store. Really awesome. And of course, just like anything else, you can select it all and do all of your UV editing just like you normally would. UVs are retained and they're here. And of course, since we made new extrusions here, you might want to re-UV this thing. So with all that said, that's pretty much it there. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. I love that tool. I think it's super useful. Let's look at another quick example here. And I'm going to go into my assets and say I have this shape. Now, for all those who are using something like a Pro Builder and say you want to go to the next level in your 3D modeling right inside Unity, the best thing is, of course, using UModeler. However, it's very difficult, right, to convert a Pro Builder object to a UModeler object, but that's not the case any longer. So what you can do now is right click on that Pro Builder object. You can go ahead and UModelize it, of course. And now we just created a duplicate. I'm just going to go ahead and delete the old one. And so now we have this shape here. And as you can see, this object has these tries. But what we want to do is, again, convert this into what is usable, because we don't want to get rid of all that hard work that we put in. We want to continue on from that point. So what I'm going to do is go down into there again. And of course, using the awesome feature, I don't have to always do it. So I can go add to favorites, and now we can just go up here. And so now that tool is up here, so I don't have to keep going down. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and select it. Once you select it, you have your tools properties right here. We're gonna select everything, and just when you click it, as you can see, it converted the faces that it could convert into faces. I'm into quads here. And so now those are quads. And now if you want, using some other tools, say these two faces you kind of want as one, we can go down and do combine faces. And so now look at that. Now you have just these faces here, and that's working pretty good. You can convert even this into a combined face, or you can combine the whole top portion into that as well. And that's really nice. And so you can continue to do this, and it just gives you so many options here for you to be able to convert your meshes into anything that you need them to be here. And so now we can continue modeling in our project as we expected, just like we would want to. Awesome. All right. So that's that. And let's go ahead and look at one more interesting example here. And so I have a mesh here. Now this mesh here is pretty interesting because this is a very high poly mesh, as you can see, but the quad tool will still work on this. And so what I'll do is go ahead and convert this guy into a UModeler X object. And let's wait for it. Pretty quick. Awesome. And so now what we're going to do is use the Quadify tool, select everything we need here, just like so. And so we're just going to hit that Quadify button. And as you can see now, all of those are now quads, and we can make adjustments to this as needed. This is pretty high poly. Just to kind of get the idea as how you could approach this. So there's so many different ways we can go about using this, but it gives you so many different options and abilities. So even if the mesh is high poly, it will still work. So I just wanted to show off a lot of the different ways you can approach it and use it. I think it's an amazing tool. I'm definitely going to use it for assets that I might want to reuse. Maybe I want to make changes to. So it just gives you so much more additional freedom to your workflow. All right, so if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to stay up to date with the latest features and updates by hitting that subscribe button and clicking that notification bell. More features are coming, and you wouldn't want to miss out. I'll see you soon.